What the f? We're gonna make the most filling meal on the planet for 500 calories. This is 10 kilograms of jelly. Now, a lot of people talk about the secret to fat loss, and most of the time it's just kind of bullshit, it's calorie deficit, but this actually might be a real secret to fat loss. High volume, low calorie foods is exactly how it sounds. Foods that are high in volume or weight, that are also low in calories. So these are all foods that make you feel full whilst containing less calories than you probably think. Choosing high volume, low calorie foods will allow you to eat more whilst also losing weight. So I'm gonna show you guys my personal favorites of high volume, low calorie foods in protein, fats, carbs, and snack. Now, most people, when they think of carbs, they think of probably rice or potatoes, breads, things like that, cereals. Those are quite high in carbs per 100 grams. So if you imagine a standard serving of rice for a hungry guy, so me, probably 300 grams. I don't have it here to illustrate, but it's about that much, 300 grams. It's a normal amount, like the packet ones you get, a bit bigger than that. Or you could have a whole kilogram of pumpkin. If you compare the weight, we've got a kilogram of pumpkin versus 300 grams of rice, literally 3 times more food volume. And if you're in Australia, you can also get these things called charisma potatoes or low carb potatoes, which I'm sure you've seen, which are about the same as pumpkin. I kind of just substitute either one. And usually with something like pumpkin, if you want to maintain the volume, don't air fry or bake the shit out of it, because it's obviously going to lose a lot of that volume. If you want pumpkin to kind of maintain its fullness as well as potatoes, either boil them and just have that, or steam them and then maybe like stir fry them up in a pan or something with a bit of flavor, like butter on your potatoes, something like that. If you put in 300 grams of pumpkin that comes out 100, kind of defeats the purpose. So we all know chicken breast, high in protein, low in fats, good cutting meal. But what people might not know is that chicken breast is 30% protein, which is usually good because it's high protein, right? But fish, white fish, I don't have any. Why don't I not have any props? I'm just too busy making fucking jelly. White fish here is actually 18% protein. So seafood as well is quite good like this. You could eat more prawns and more weight in fish than you would in, say, chicken, because it's actually less percentage protein. So if you wanted, if you had 250 grams of white fish instead of 200 grams of chicken, that would be great, or calamari, or prawns, or whatever your particular seafood favorite is. But just chicken isn't the only option. There's old stories in like old bodybuilding tales of competitors switching to white fish in like 4 weeks out from a show. They said it would thin their skin and like reduce water, but I think what was actually happening was they were just getting lean because they were consuming less calories. 200 grams of chicken to 200 grams of fish is still less calories. Now, when it comes to choosing fats, oil is obviously the highest in fat. It is pure fat. So if you have 20 ml of oil, just a tablespoon of oil, it's essentially the same calories as having an entire avocado in terms of the fat content. So it's up to you. Some people like to cook in a lot of oil, and that's totally fine. Others can take away the oil and add more filling fats like avocado, or my personal favorite, a lot of animal fats that I actually cook with. So I would prefer to eat a fattier cut of steak than I would add necessarily fats to my meal. So it depends on how you want to go about it, but just be careful of oils because they are so high in calories, and if you're just smashing them willy-nilly, it'll be very easy for that calorie intake to just go right up. Conversely, if you're watching this and you literally can't put on weight, which I don't know why you'd be watching this, but oil is like a really good bulking hack. So you could add coconut oil to your smoothies, you can have it on the tablespoon. It's such an easy way of getting calories in that it can be used as a bulking hack, or it can stop people from losing weight. Now, finally, what you've all been waiting for, the snack. So sugar-free jelly is always a dieting hack. You simply add one of the little sachets to about 500 ml of water, put it in the fridge, and that is about 26 calories from memory. So that makes 500 ml, so 26 calories per 500 grams. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Just this much jelly, about 26 calories. Crazy. So one thing I used to do is put a little bit of yogurt on top of this, like tablespoon, maybe some berries, a few bits of crunchy granola or something. Now you compare that to the same weight in something else, and it's gonna be entirely different. Now obviously this is mainly just water. As soon as it hits your stomach, it's gonna like turn into water, but it gives you that feeling of fullness, which does go a long way. So the other thing to know when it comes to feeling full and your body's satiety is your gut has certain receptors of how full you are. This doesn't always just mean volume. It has stretch receptors in your gut, which is the feeling of fullness, which you might feel full, I'm done. But those who are dieting know that that's not the only answer. And you also need to be nourishing your body. So if you just cut all calories and fill up on this stuff, you're still gonna be left feeling slightly empty. But at the end of the day, if you're dieting, sometimes you're just gonna be a little bit hungry and less satisfied. The only thing I can do to combat that is add things like healthy fats in there, enough protein from your diet, and then the rest, high volume, low calorie foods. So this entire 10 kilos of jelly is pretty much 500 calories, and that's about 125 grams of protein. So technically, one could just have this and still hit their protein goals. You wouldn't hit your amino acid goals because it doesn't have a very good profile, but Technically, you'd still be hitting your macros with just 10 kilos of jelly. Wouldn't recommend it, but I have gone in the past where I would literally have a kilo of jelly a day, and I was like 6% body fat. Sometimes it just does help. And I thought to illustrate the point of imagine eating all of this, 10 kilos, and still being in a deficit. It would be strange, and you'd have big issues in a sore stomach. But I thought I would show you guys that to illustrate the extremity of this example. And guys, if you did like this video, please actually like it, because I've made 10 kilos of jelly. I mean, like this video, but show some love. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you guys in the next video. Stay massive, don't be jelly.
Slide into your DMs in the PM and the AM, then I slide into your feelings when you see just what I'm saying.